This is the Whatever You Say podcast.
I don't think it's white folks. I think it's Negroes. I do not think this is white folks. It could be. It could be white folks. But I think it's Negroes. I think a Negro did this.
This is the Whatever You Say podcast.
Mike, Whatever You Say podcast will be at the TAF Awards next week.
Yay.
Teachers Appreciation Foundation. In a state like Oklahoma, who really acts like they could give two damns about their teachers, I would imagine something like that is going to be really, really appreciated, with the teachers and things like that. How into it or in tune are you with high school athletics and the high school NIL whole process? And do we know, has that actually officially kicked off?
Yeah, I mean, it started that year. Once the NCAA said that students are allowed to take money for the name, likeness, and image, that opened it up for high schools as well. So the OSSA, which is the governing body of athletics, for the first year, all they kept saying is,
Whatever you say.
well, we're looking into it. We're trying to figure out what type of rules, this and that. And so this past year, or early this summer, or late last year, they came out with some rules, but they weren't really rules. They were more like guidelines that say, you don't have to follow these, but we're telling schools this is what you probably should do. At the end of the day, if I'm a kid, a car dealership comes and say, hey, we want you to represent us, I can take the car. It's not going to ruin my eligibility in high school or in college. And so it's, once again, I was talking about to the day that they announced it, that NIL was a thing. I was talking to a high school coach that day, and we started going through all the things that this is what's going to happen, and it's all happening.
Coaches hate it. High school coaches hate it.
Some, yeah, they hate it, unless their kid is playing.
Right.
And then they go,
Right.
I hate it, but I'm gonna take advantage of it. Which I can't blame. I can't blame.
Basically, wasn't that what Lane Kiffin was saying the other day?
Yeah.
No. By the way, somebody tell Lane Kiffin to drive the hard top next time to the press conference. You see his hair?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was that? Get your hair together, Lane.
I don't care. That's what he's saying. I don't care anymore. I've been through too much.
Man, like Ace Ventura with that hair, man. But I get what he's saying. Hey, listen, man, it's what did he call it? Basically, legal theft and bribery.
Right.
It's basically what it is. This is where I'm at, and this is the kind of game we got to play if we want to survive. And then that takes me back to Deion, real quick. So Deion didn't slap back at Venables.
No.
He
At
did.
least as far as...
And then Venables' comment wasn't towards Deion. It was just transfers, right?
Transfers. From what I understand, he I don't know if he said Deion or Colorado, but he did say he wasn't going to be like at Colorado where they let go of all the players,
right,
or told them they were going to be on. Now, but what he did say is I was going to give him a 1 year grace period, because I think he said he did that before when he was at Clemson or something to that effect. So it wasn't as bad as it was made out to be, but it's still, you brought another coach's thing, which I don't mind, but stand, if you say it.
If you say it, stand on that, man.
Yeah, stand on it. Put your toes in the ground. Say, yeah, I'm in it. And what? Now, but Deion didn't say, that would have been awesome if he actually had said that. That would have been
what
great.
What is that? You had a Ferrari and you crashed it?
Boy, and it almost had. I'm telling you. I saw it. I said, man, I said, hold on. Let me do a little research.
Because that's something Deion was saying.
Yeah. But once again, this goes back to not having credible news sources and reporters that you can count on. I have people who I know I go to at certain areas if I'm not knowledgeable on it, and if they didn't have it out there, then I know it's not real. But that's the less and less actual news sources, and it's just everything's on social media, and that's where you get it from. That's why it was posted and reposted, and everyone thought, "Oh, this has to be." That does sound just like him. It probably was an AI. Someone probably typed in AI. What would Deion Sanders? How would Deion Sanders respond to Brent Venables if he would respond?
And AI came up with that.
It wouldn't doubt. If someone said that, you know what?
That was a good response, AI.
It wouldn't even surprise me.
If AI gonna give me that level responses, I might reach out a couple times.
Exactly.
Real quick, has that come up in the journalism world? Anybody out there cheating?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. People.
There are paid reporters out there going to AI for
I don't know.
stories.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know if it's reporters doing it, but there are news sites who are using it.
Yeah. Okay.
And just putting
whatever you say.
Whatever journal staff or whatever staff, and so it's coming. At some point, it's coming. They're going to figure out
what you gonna do, Mike.
I'm hoping that I'm good enough that people still want it.
But I say you gotta be cooler than the AI, man.
It have to be better than because I heard this the other day, and it helped me alleviate some worries I may have had. It's that if when AI puts something out, it's to the medium, it's to the mean. So it's taking everything that it's getting from the web, and so it's not being inspired to write something great. It's just doing what is out there, which is the majority of stuff that's out there is either garbage or half. It's just medium. So that's what it's going to put out. It's hard to believe because they were saying that about the writer's strike in Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
They'll put out something good enough to be put on TV, but they won't put out anything good enough that it's going to inspire you to want to
really catch his eyes.
Right. That's going to take human inspiration. At least that's the way they believe right now. At some point, that may change.
Yeah. I've seen the pictures that AI creates.
Yeah.
I remember I saw this picture. It was like 1975 Chicago, and it looked real as hell.
Right.
You know, everybody was in like pimp gear and shit, and it was like, yeah, it looked like maybe could have been a night in the 70s in Chicago. Until you looked in the background, saw the names of the signs.
Right.
It was like, what is that? It wasn't even words.
Right.
Like they were like some gibberish. It was like, oh, this is computer stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But we're just at that entry level.
Yeah, we just not getting there.
Yeah. 2024 come around.
Yeah.
It's going to be a completely different thing. And so I understand why people say, you can't get worried. It's still a computer. You still this and that. But at some point, once it's cheaper to go to a computer, to go to AI, than it is to pay a human, and if the work is even close, it doesn't have to be better. It just has to be close.
And then let's be honest, humans, our work isn't really up to par a lot.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. We're just trying to get by and get back to the house.
Right.
So
wait, what was the word? The quiet quitting or the
the quiet quitting?
Quiet quitting. Or no, the one I heard the other day was minimal Monday.
Minimal Monday.
Minimal Monday. Where
I'm only doing.
I've been on vacation for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I'm really not going to be in the office full time on Monday. I need to slowly get back in.
I'm really clocked out at like 2:30.
Right.
I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing the least amount possible.
Yeah.
And they expect employees to accept it.
That's not Mondays though, Mike. That's every day of the week.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. I mean, listen, this is human nature. You mean I can only do 70% and still get 100% of my money?
Right.
I think I'll go with that.
Right.
I'll go with that.
And then they have people on social media who are telling you that that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Or they say, why would you go do extra? Someone tells you, your boss asks you, hey, can you do this? You're supposed to say no because you're not getting. That's not what you paid me for.
It's not your life.
Oh.
What about your life? What about outside of work?
Yeah.
What about your mental health? I mean, all that stuff comes into play. Now, listen. Do you appreciate the mental health theme and awareness that we're in right now?
No, I want Was it?
Mike said no. Go crazy,
I
motherfucker.
work. I was now
Ben Simmons blew your mind, huh?
right. Because I like my job. I
Right.
like what I do. If I like what the occupation I got into, I want to do more of it. Ben Simmons supposedly likes basketball. Supposedly.
Can't tell.
There you go.
Whatever you
Then
say.
I
Whatever you
would
say.
want to do everything possible to be around and do it the best I can and this and that. So it's not just him. Once again, this is a whole. I hate to sound that dude that's saying this generation is this and that, but
Get off my lawn.
yeah, but man,
I'm with you, Mike. I mean, we're here. I mean, the whole Ben Simmons thing. Kyrie Irving is different, but along those same lines. But I appreciated what Kevin Love did to kind of even jumpstart this whole thing
Right.
in the NBA. Him, DeMar DeRozan. Tell me this real quick, not to get too off topic, but if we find out, let's say, 20 years from now, maybe not even 10 years from now, they're doing these 30 for 30s and all that. What if we find out, like, guys like Kawhi Leonard, maybe even DeMar DeRozan, we find out those guys are, like, autistic or something?
I wouldn't. First of all, it wouldn't shock me.
That's what I'm saying. Am I the only one that thinks that could be a real thing?
I think so. I think most people already believe Kawhi is. I think I've seen stories on that.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me. Kyrie, it wouldn't surprise me either if it came out, if he was on the spectrum
Like
somewhere.
Kanye, I thought, Kanye, I think I saw a
Yeah.
video where he said he is,
It
on
wouldn't
top,
surprise me.
on top of bipolar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And look, and there are people with issues, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from working hard
What needs to be done.
and doing your job, and not because there are people who are autistic and have issues who don't do crazy things. So I'm not going to give Kanye a pat. I still love his music, but he still says some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of that happens once you get. I'm sure he was crazy before he got billions,
Yeah.
but that just enhanced it a little bit. So, but to answer your question, if it came out later on down the road, I say, yeah, okay, but that still doesn't explain sitting out. If I'm Kawhi, sitting out 45% of the season, and not showing up when I need to show up. You still got a job to do. People act like it's
And you got
you
people
don't have to do your job.
and you still got people, and there's people out here who want you to do your job.
Yeah,
It's
and
not like
depending on you.
it's not like we're running you out the league.
Right.
I want you to come in and drop 25 a night, please.
And people who are dependent on you for it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I just say it's a different time where, as you said, with everyone talks about mental health, this and that they want to de-emphasize work and the job and this and that. And I'm going, you got to pay your bill. You still,
Somehow.
just because you can do it, because you got a guaranteed contract, the cat who's working out at the lumber yard, imagine, well, I'm going to half it today. And guess what happens? I get a hand cut off because I'm not fully
Yeah, right.
engaged
Right.
in it. So I would tell people, just because you see your favorite actor, rapper, athlete halving it, that's not your life.
No.
You got to figure out, unless you're that dude in California who just won the $1 billion lottery, that ain't you. So go to work, figure out what you can do to make your life better in any way, but go to work.
Words from Michael Kinney. Quit bullshitting. Conspiracy theory alert, Mike. Prepare for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy theory alert. Back to Dion. Now, I'm not saying this is the sole reason, right? But, when Dion came to California, he sent a bunch of players, Colorado. He sent a bunch of players that were there already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sent them home. Said, I got Louis coming.
Right.
I got my own luggage. And he brought in a bunch of black players from Florida.
Right.
Right? Ran the white boys out in Colorado, ran them home. Mainly his hometown, Florida. Now, I'm thinking that had to piss off a politician, a local bigwig or something, and their nephew, son, grandson was sent home. And now, all of a sudden, a year later, we got a new little twist in the educational affirmative action setup. I'm not saying it was all Dion, but I would imagine that pissed off some shot callers, some political pundits out there that can make a call and make some things happen. And you see there, if this happens, then it's going to be every year, and it's going to be. Where am I at, Mike? Am I way off on that one?
Well, I mean, you're probably a little bit out there on it, which is fine. Now, I will say that
not just Dion, not just this one thing, but just
I think
kind of woke him up and like, damn, he just sent my boy home like that.
I think if you put it all together,
Whatever you say,
into a stew or a pie, whatever, put it all, everything that's happened, not just with that,
right?
But if you look at the NILs, if you look at college enrollment and how they believe that white students are getting shafted, and you pray, I think, and you pray on that type of thinking, then I think that's another piece in it that made people think that they had to make these changes. Well, they were completely wrong. And because we once again forget that the only reason they were able to win the suit, the affirmative action suit, is because there was an Asian student who decided to file it, because the same dude who got him to do it, when he did it with a white girl from Texas, the year before, they threw it out. It's no. But so I think it's just, once again, it's one of the many pieces that have got people believing a whole bunch of things that at the end of the day is going to come back and bite them again. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out, because I want to see, because Harvard is being sued over their legacy. I want to see how that plays out. Yeah. Now, if that gets to the Supreme Court, but that one doesn't get, if they don't send it down the same path that they send affirmative action, then we'll have something. And then with the whole legacy thing, we just had who was the celebrities that were paying their way into their kids into the, and some of them had even though it was a little slap on the wrist, well, some of them had to go actually do some time. Just for a couple months, right? I mean, it was some week, but you at least you want us to make it think that you took it serious, right? Enough to give some famous people some time. So, we'll see how this plays out. But the way they did affirmative action, I mean, that was a shock, man. That was, I guess I wasn't on my political stories up to that point, but to me, that seems like that was like a thief in the night. Like they did that overnight and then just woke up with the news the next day. Right. Well, it wasn't a shock that they overturned it or the way they ruled it, but the fact it got that far, that they were able to take it out of the Mississippi courts, and I forgot what the other one was. In this time, too. In this time, and it is as stitchy as we are with each other. Right. You do something like that. Yeah, but that also shows you where we're at. We're not as progressed as we thought we were. No. And that there's a bunch of people that the past elections, regardless of who won, the past election should have shown us, the past 2-3 of them, that yes, we can say that there's a good amount of people who think one way, whether they voted for a Democrat or progressives or this and that, but there were so many on the other side who don't see that same world, all. Who see a different world than we may see it. And so that, to me, should be the thing and it's only growing. It's only growing. I mean, you start with the educational side of it. Right. I thought those were kind of the places where we incubate our youth and incubate our future to, get them to come out and give us something better. But I don't know. With this type of confusion and decisions like this, I don't know what that's going to look like. Well, it is in a way, you are correct, because the education system is where you do it. So that's why some of the most fierce battles are being fought in the education realm. We just saw what Florida, with their new ruling, came out for all the public schools, where they have to teach their students that if slaves, there were some slaves who benefited from being in slavery.
Yeah.
And that the other one, and they're teaching that to middle schoolers. And then in high school, you have to teach that if you were a part of the Tulsa race riot or any of those Rosewood or any of those other ones, that it was black people were not only targeted by violence, but they also initiated violence. They have to teach that as well.
They initiated
Yes.
the violence or violence?
Violence against
White people.
white people. They have to teach that.
But they'll leave out that
That
the white was really
right.
initiated the violence first.
Yeah. And that the black people were defending themselves. That's
They
not
leave that part
of it.
out.
Yeah. It's that you have to teach that
Wow.
it was going both ways.
Wow. Jeez Louise. I mean, any difference between Florida and Oklahoma right now?
We'll be next.
Palm trees, that's it?
That's it. Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, and what was it? Not Wyoming. There was another one up north, but they're a little bit farther behind, but they're still close.
West
But
Virginia?
They're still not, West Virginia's not even as bad as Oklahoma. That's the crazy part.
Really?
You would think, but political wise.
Yeah.
But Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, they seem to all be who's going to be first to do this.
Right.
Now, Florida seems every single time you think Florida's outrunning the lead, here comes Texas with something just as bad. And then Oklahoma, while it doesn't get, up until Florida passed these rules, when Ryan Walters said that, what he said about the Tulsa Massacre, that had national coverage for a minute.
It wasn't, what did he say? It wasn't all white people. Now, no, you didn't do it because
Right, it wasn't
you
because
were
of
white.
race. Yeah,
It wasn't because of race.
Right.
It was just bad people.
Right.
So basically, something
Right,
like that. It was
right.
kind of
Hey, he said race had nothing to do with the Tulsa Massacre.
Yeah.
Even though the entire black neighborhood or community was all black, that had nothing to do with it.
burned to the ground.
Yeah, and there was not one account of a white person killing or going after a white person.
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
So, but no race. So yeah, all those three states, it's a race that see who's up ahead.
And when we're in a country like this, man, you see what we're talking about with Ryan Walters. You see somehow Trump is still involved in political stuff. I don't know how, but like, where's the democracy in that? Like, maybe I have a different understanding of what democracy means, but how does someone like that, who goes against the establishment like that, well, at least it's not the establishment, it goes against the understanding decorum that we're supposed to have in politics.
Right.
How are you still able to? And then with Trump, you like got a court case coming up.
3.
You're like, so
Three indictments. Yeah.
You've been indicted multiple times. So how are you even in the running for president? Anything like that baffles the fuck out of me, man. And I don't know how you can have faith in, quote unquote, faith in democracy, faith
Right.
in your country, when this type of shit just happens blatantly on TV,
Right.
just in front of everybody. Right, DeSantis, like the shit he on, like what is that?
The system that we use to govern the country was made specifically for certain groups of people.
Right.
Yeah. Mostly rich, mostly people of influence, this and that. But it was made, and so that hasn't changed. Whether it was the founding fathers when they first made it, that's the great. The fact that we still use the same system from 1780.
Exactly.
It's hilarious.
Exactly.
But it was made for certain groups of people and for certain things. So I don't know. I would love to be able to. I wish I had an explanation of how all this is still going on and how we're going to deal with it and what's going to be the final outcome. But it sounds hokey, but we still need. At the end of the day, the only thing that we have control of is get out and vote. And I don't know. It doesn't always work.
It literally is a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
When I hear that,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I understand. But
you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Like,
but the only other option is if we don't,
it's war.
and then no one wins. Once again, then we all lose. Except for the people who were selling the weapons
with the
and
bigger guns.
profiteers, yeah. Which is always the United States. So once again,
You from Lawton, Oklahoma? You a gun boy?
I've never had one.
Guns, I can't lie. Guns make me nervous, man. I don't trust people with them.
I don't go around people. Let me rephrase that. I know people have them, but I don't hang around with them. I try not to be in situations where something is needed. Now, once again, growing up, we used to get in fights all the time, and guns were never brought to the scene. Thankfully, it's a whole different world now.
Yeah.
So, but I also understand the amount of people who have no problem coming up and breaking into your house.
If everybody got them.
Yeah. If I lived in a place where I thought it could happen, where someone could just come up to me or come into my house, I'm not on the far left side who believes all guns should be banned because bad guys will never get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not on the far right who says that there should be no limitations or restrictions. So there's a middle in there somewhere.
The middle is, and this is just me, my opinion. You know, I know the if you're a gun enthusiast, chopper and Dracos, those are the right. Those are the popular terms that we use right now. These automatic rifles. I just think you can protect your house without a bazooka,
right?
Without an automatic AR. And let's be honest, especially you folks who just go get them just to have them, you don't really know how to use them like that. And those are the dudes, those are the people and that's why I don't like them. Right. Because people who really want them and want to use them and be seen with them, and y'all the ones who really don't know what you're doing. Right. Right. And yeah, it's too many just, oops, my finger slipped. And I've known, friends, family members who've not only lost, friends and family because of guns, but like accidents and kids get, stuff like that. Right. So yeah, I'm not really a big gun guy, and but I understand everybody wants one, everybody has them, and so if you want one, fine, but please do what you got to do with them. When they got rid of when they made open carry and permitless, that was that was. That's a little bit, not even a little bit. That's a lot too much. That's a lot. Yeah, but once again, if I lived in a neighborhood, I can't even say it's a neighborhood now because it happens anywhere. Well, I mean, just the state. I mean, you do live in Oklahoma, all right? But here's the one good thing about Oklahoma, because it's the way it is. You see less armed robbery. You see less people running in up into convenience stores or whatever. Because because you don't know who's everyone could be carrying, and they have no problem unleashing that dog, especially if you are a person of color. They have no problem doing it. But if you in California, if you in New York, if you in some Chicago or wherever, New Orleans, and you see some of the crime that is taking place, I would probably talk to anyone because I would not want to be a victim of it. So it'd be tough. It's a tough position to be in. I just don't want one. Just because, like you just said, I don't want to be the accident of my own death. Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough. Talking Michael Kinney, we all over the place on this one. Whatever you play is a segment on this one. This is all sports. Well, not really. Not really. But you are a Soon Cal Lake fan, like most sports fans here in Oklahoma, Mike, right? Oh, did you mean Cowboys? Soon Cal Lake? Sooners, Cowboys, Lakers? First of all, I don't think... Come on, Mike, tell the truth. I am. I just don't think most people are all three. Cowboys, Sooners, for sure. But most of the people I know, well, now that LeBron's here, that has changed them. So there are many more who are LeBron fans
and not Laker
You
fans.
think there was a lot of Laker fans in the Kobe days. You think they have stepped back because LeBron's there now?
I think those did, but they gained more when LeBron
Because a
came.
whole new generation.
Yeah, because there's more people who follow the player than the organization. So wherever LeBron, all those ones who were in Cleveland, who were in Miami, they came to L.A. with them. And so I think if you were a Kobe fan, more than likely you were, because he was with the Lakers forever. You were a Laker fan. He wasn't anywhere else. And so they're probably in that regard like me. Once we talked about it before, once LeBron came, I'm still a fan, but I don't watch every game.
Yeah.
I don't root.
Yeah.
I don't go out and buy any jerseys or paraphernalia.
Yeah.
You know, I used to name some of my fantasy teams Lakers this and Lakers that. I don't do that
Whatever
anymore.
you say.
You don't do that?
You know, you just got to ride this wave of whatever's going on. So, but soon as Cowboys, 100%, as it should be. I have no.
As it should be. You like what your Cowboys done this offseason?
Well, I mean,
Who'd you got? You got Brandon Cooks.
you got Brandon Cooks.
Are you trying to get Dalvin? No, not Dalvin.
No, what's saying? He's already signed.
D-Hop.
He's already signed with the Titans.
Why did he go to the Titans?
He from what I understand, it
For
was
money?
it was at the Titans in New England, and the Titans don't have a quarterback. So I
Right.
don't know.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming it had to be more money.
Tannehill's gone, right?
Tannehill's gone.
So what? Mike Willis? Is that his name? Little dude they drafted last year?
Yeah. I probably would have went to New England.
What was that? D-Hop? Yeah, I don't get that,
But
man.
maybe he didn't want the cold weather. If I'm old, maybe I don't want to do that.
Well, they keep saying him. What's the name? Bill O'Brien. Used to
Bill
coach.
Belichick?
No.
Oh, Bill O'Brien, yeah.
Used to
yeah.
coach at Houston.
Right.
They didn't get along, so maybe that's it. But
Bill O'Brien, doesn't he?
Tennessee though.
Yeah. Now, if you ever do get a quarterback, you have top 3 running back. You have a good O-line. You normally have a good
The defense, yeah.
So you have some things to work with. You're not in the toughest conference or division in the world, but where if you go to New England, you got Miami. Now you got I still don't know how good the Jets are going to be, but they'll be all right with Aaron Rodgers. So, and I just think it's the weather. I wouldn't want to play at that age. If I could avoid playing in that New England weather, and I could be in Tennessee during the winter, I'd deal with it.
I guess. Wide receivers just listen. Throw me the ball.
Yeah.
Give my money.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
I want to win the Super Bowl.
And this is a passing league, quote unquote. So, I guess they feel like. But who's quarterbacking? We don't even really know.
I don't know.
In Tennessee like that. I don't know, D-Hop. You kind of let me down on that one. But your Cowboys, you're good. You got Brandon Cooks. You got.
Got Brandon Cooks. We brought almost everybody. Now, I'm worried about the Zach Martin news that he's talking about.
He wants restructured.
Which is, hey, he's one of the best. Once again, this comes back to what we talked about the last time I was here. When they signed or were about to sign Dak Prescott. I said, once you do it, you're not going to have money for all these other people. And once you decide to make him that 45, 47 million a year, whatever he's making, so all these other people coming up who help just as much, what are you going to do? So you couldn't afford to bring in some big name wide receivers or other players. You can't even afford. You got rid of Zeke, but you can't afford to give the other tailback Pollard what he's asking for.
What did they give? Did they pay Trayvon Diggs yet?
No.
That time's gonna come here pretty soon.
Him, and then the year after that,
Gilmore. They signed Gilmore,
the linebacker from Penn State.
Oh, Parsons.
Him. So they're all coming up, and they're all going. Where's it happening? And so when you didn't win it last year or the year before, you kind of ruined yourself. So I'm now Dak has come out and said that he's about to cut down his interception. Now he threw his wide receivers under the bus when he said you could take half of those away from because that was probably on the wide receivers, which is
I didn't hear that one.
yeah. If I'm CD, I'm going wait.
Little infighting there. That wasn't a good look there, Dak.
That's a horrible look.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's a horrible.
That's
look.
not good.
Yeah, to me. But hey, you got to justify that contract somehow. So we'll see. And I hope they close the gap on the Eagles. I hope.
Listen, Philly, they're not going to be what they were last year. I do think they can still win the division. Although, even though we're reminded every year that the same team doesn't win that division 2 years in a row. Lost Miles Sanders. I think Devontae Smith, the number 2 receiver. I think he's gonna take a jump. I like him. Right. He's a hell of a wide receiver, especially to be so little.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a slight build, but he goes out there and does his thing. So I don't know. We lost a couple of guys on defense, and we'll see what Philly looks like. I think the defenses will be kind of revved up to go against Hurts and all that this year. So,
but they're all in the same position.
Yeah.
Y'all just signed him to. Is he now the highest paid quarterback in the league?
Right now, yeah. Until Joe, what's his name?
Joe
Burrow. Yeah. Till one of them get it.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm not expecting. You know how that happens. You know how that goes. You go to the Super Bowl, win or lose. You're gonna miss some guys in the next year. That's how it happens.
Unless you're Kansas City, yeah.
Unless you're Kansas City, you're right. God damn it. Unless you're Kansas City, so I mean it happens. But I expect another good year out of my boys, and we'll see what happens with that NFC East division. And we were talking about last year. You were here. What was the big topic? Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Getting his money, right?
Yeah.
He got his money. And they were able to sign Odell for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just like you were talking about with your boys after they gave Dak his big check.
Right.
Next year and going forward, what's going to happen?
Are you going to?
This a 1 year rental for Odell?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More than likely.
Yeah, 100% because he wants his money.
Yeah.
Like everybody else. Are you going to be able to keep Mark Andrews?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to keep any of those cats on defense? You weren't now. If Odell's your number 1 receiver, who hasn't played in 2 years,
yeah.
Then now what are you saying? You still haven't solidified your backfield back there. You lost your offensive line. It's not like it got better. So you paid this one dude because you believe he's it.
I hate it, man. I hate that. I don't know. They just need to soften up the high salary cap, I guess. Because I hate the fact that I got to say to a guy like Lamar, I don't want to pay you. Like that doesn't make sense, right?
I don't want to pay you what you
want,
yeah.
Right? I don't want to pay that number.
Yeah. Now it's hard for me to feel sorry for someone who is going to make 50, but could have made 45. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, but still, but it's still that's $5 million that isn't going to another position that could help you win the Super Bowl. So this has been my rule for at least the last 3 or 4 years. Well, it's really been forever, but the only person who's changed it is Patrick Mahomes. Because no matter what you've done around him, or taken away,
he gets it done.
He gets it on. He's had the best tight end in the league, but you changed his wide receivers, you changed his running back, you changed his O-line, you changed his defense, but he still finds a way. So unless you're him, then everybody else is just taking money and taking it out of the pockets of people who can make them better. Now, someone can prove me wrong. Hopefully it's Dak, but I have my worries. I'm still going to root.
Brandon Cook's a good pickup, though.
Yeah, no. I think the wide receiver core was fine.
I don't understand. I mean, I understand letting go of Zeke, but
I think he'll be back.
Do you bring him back because you can't put it all on Pollard?
No.
Off a broke leg.
They're gonna bring him back.
Can't do that.
They let Zeke out. Say, hey, see if someone wants you.
Yeah.
And then obviously, no one's done it yet. He might he may wait all the way up until training camp or beyond and waiting to see who's going to get hurt. Maybe someone's going to bring him in, but I think he might as well come back, play for the veteran minimum, whatever that is. That's still more than any other job you're going to get. Skip camp, don't have to go through all that stuff, and then just come in and play. That's the role that you see most veteran running backs doing at this point.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We're talking about Lamar Jackson last year in the big contract controversy. Well, now it's the entire running back position, right? Who are you slapping on the back of the head? The New York Giants or Saquon? The fact that they're only $2 million apart, and he's talking about missing game one, possibly. $2 million apart.
It's $2 million apart, but you also know this is probably your last contract
at the big one.
Yeah, at the big one, and the reason you can't get it is because they gave it all to the quarterback
Jones,
who had one good year.
And it was if you look at the numbers, it was a so year.
Right.
It was good compared to the previous two.
The previous year, and now he did it with okay wide receivers, whatever. But you did it all with Saquon in the backfield, who was still going to be the focus of whatever defense you were facing.
And you did it by running. You wasn't throwing like you was throwing like that.
Right. So on the Giants' fault, I would have liked to have gotten Saquon's deal first, and then we could have dealt with Jones afterwards. But the fact that it is $2 million, that's what it is. It's not like they're going to find $2 million. This is a salary cap. It is what it is. So deal with it, take it, find other ways to make your money that make up that $2 million, and go forward. You probably the best deal you're going to get. But it's on both of them. It's on all of them. I put it mostly on the quarterback, but as you know, I don't like quarterbacks. So.
There's a defensive lineman over here, folks.
I like people who get paid, but I don't want it to all go to one person.
He has a forever bias.
100%. I have no problem
against quarterbacks.
I have no problem in that.
NBA news. Dwight Howard. Oh my God. Have you seen that?
The last thing I saw was him and his kid.
No.
Something else?
Something else. He's back in the, screenshots of him and some other guy, texting back and forth. And
was it the guy who sent him out?
Yeah. I think it was remember when he had that, like him, it was like trying to sue him for all that. I don't know if it's that same guy, but it just, once again, we get the rumors of Dwight Howard and men and
here's the thing. If that's what he liked, that's cool. It's his thing. But you can't text people. You've seen just too many people who are screenshotting everything.
Like, get the WhatsApp. So
I know, or Snapchat.
It's not encrypted.
Yeah. So if I Snapchat, I know that you screenshot it. Or just guess what? Go talk to him in person. If I got anything to say, anything that I don't want to get out, whatever it is, I don't care. Then I'm gonna talk to you in person. I'm not.
Whatever you
you're
say.
You're not getting no messages from me that's going to have to explain myself. Especially, I'm not even in the league anymore. Why would I even care?
I'm over in Taiwan.
Yeah, trying to do my thing. Leave. So, it just, you got to understand, you can't trust people. You may think this person, whoever it is the love of your life, or y'all got this connection, and the next thing you know, all your business is out there. That's sad that's, once again, that's the state of the world we in, but it is what it is.
Kind of the same mode. Jalen Green, that video.
That was horrible. That's just dumb.
That's just high school. Guys, locker room, high school stuff.
No, it's not.
Listen, he deserves whatever he's getting, because it's all tongue-in-cheek fun that he's going to get for this whole basketball season, maybe the rest of his career.
Right.
But once again, just remember when I don't know, I want to say maybe 3-4 years seem like straight. I remember Joe Burrow had an issue. All these tweets started to come up of what they said back and somebody used the N-word and somebody said that. So, and they got a pass from it.
Right.
So I think this will happen for Jalen too, but it's gonna be a rough year for him this year.
It's gonna be
gonna be rough.
Oh yeah, he's gonna hear it, and it'll blow over because something else will come.
Yeah.
But once again, this goes to the dude who's filming, because that's who put it out there.
Whose phone was that?
Yeah, dude, it was 4 people in the room.
IP address.
There was 4 people in the room. You were on top of one. One was in the back. So that only leaves one other person who had the camera out.
Right.
So that's who you should be talking to right now, because you knew. I don't care how old you are. You know that's going to cause have people feel a certain type of way when you put it out there, and you still put it out there.
Still. In a time like today,
right. So we'd have to have words. If it's someone who claimed to be my friend, they're no longer my friend. I learned this I just take it as a learning lesson that I can't be around you because you obviously are untrustworthy. So take it as a lesson. But yeah, he's like you said, he's going to hear it. There's going to be signs at certain stadiums that he's going to have to deal with.
People gonna get kicked out of stadiums.
Oh yeah,
for the stuff they're gonna write on these signs
and scream.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But on the other hand, good news for Jaylen Brown. He was selected to the USA team. So we'll see. Have you seen this USA team?
Yeah.
All babies.
Yeah. Well, the old guys don't want to play no more.
But we just got through talking about how the rest of the world is ascending on the USA as far as basketball, because this could be a bad look for the USA team.
We're going back to the '88 squad when it was this college kid.
Yeah,
right before the Dream Team. But because if you're LeBron, if you're KD,
I did enough, man.
Yeah, so if you look at where the NBA is, you have all these 10-year plus vets who are at the top, but then they have a bunch of young kids. There's no
in between.
The middle. Yeah, just people who are on the ascent, who are from America.
Let me think. Let me keep going, man. Let me think. Who is that American player, good player, improving, not a young baby, but not an old vet?
No. I'm trying to think.
Like where would you put? I mean, he's a vet, but he's not like a Marcus Smart. He's a vet, but
he's a vet, but he's not he was the third or fourth best player on his own team. I'd still want him.
So you mean stars?
Yeah. Well, as far as if you're looking at who's going to go, if you compare it to the Dream Teams or even the Redemption Teams when they had Kobe and LeBron G. Wade, this isn't that anymore.
No.
So, but I would take Marcus Smart because I know he's going to go out, he's going to play hard, he's going to play deep.
Oh, no doubt. If you want to make a full on team, you need a couple Marcus Smarts.
Exactly. But there are very few of them who are actual starters.
And then Marcus Smart can give you a 20, 25 point game and get it on that end too. I'm just
so if you're trying to think of an
American player, not a vet, not a baby, and is at least all-star level, all-star caliber.
I can't even think of an all-star who fit that description. Maybe I'd say Klay Thompson, but he's going on his third contract.
We getting, and he's taking a step back. We're seeing that now.
No Damian Lillard,
No, Dame's he's in the vet category.
It might be Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole is better than what a lot of people
whatever you say
tease him for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think. Okay.
Yeah. Trey.
Okay. Not a 10-year vet.
No.
Not a baby.
No.
He's been, what is this, 5-6 years?
I think it's going into his fourth year because he's still on his. No, he hit his second. He's on his second contract. The start of his second contract. So he's about his fourth or fifth year. So it has to be someone who's in that that draft class, around that draft class. So yeah, I can't think of it. So
I don't know. It's I mean, because if you're talking about the up and coming stars, like I don't know, like a young guy like Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox. How about that?
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox. Yeah.
Not a vet, not a baby, and finally getting his getting his pub.
Right. Him and what's the other dude from Sacramento? Wasn't there another one?
Malik Monk.
Yeah. Well, he's still young though.
Or Sabonis.
Nah, Wait, is Sabonis? Is he considered American?
He was born in Portland.
Then yeah.
But I mean, we know he's what is it?
Lithuanian,
Slovenian.
That's what it's at. But if he's born in Portland, he's American. So
right.
What way he's on the team? He'd be a good pick.
Yeah.
But if his dad Lithuanian, I think he could. I think he could still claim residency.
Got the dual citizenship.
Yeah, dual citizenship. I don't know who would.
You tired of James Harden yet, man?
Yeah, that was. I want to say 2-3 teams ago.
What's my man's problem? I thought him and Daryl Morey got this great relationship. Now he can't stay in Philly.
Dude, once you get it all, or you got your money, you got people to do it exactly how you want to do it. Once he ran away from being on the same team with Kevin and pretty much sabotaged that entire year. It was.
That was kind of Kyrie's fault, though.
But you still got to, like we just talked about, you still got to come to work.
You got to go to work.
Yeah. I still got me and Kevin. We can still go do this. You just got to come to work.
And I think let's be honest, he's not Houston no more.
No.
So, I guess we saw a little bit of it last year. Hey, James, I need 40 tonight. Like, those games are far and few in between now.
Or you'll get a 40 and then come back with a 7.
You get an 8, yeah.
And you don't with like 10 total shots if you're lucky, and no interest on the defensive end or whatsoever. So you're no longer, in my estimation, you're no longer a superstar. You're just a player who every now and then can do some stuff, but you can't do it consistently every night. Which to me, that's a superstar. Who does it consistently every night, no matter what the situation.
And even if you're looking a little bad, I mean, listen, it's obvious LeBron isn't LeBron anymore, right?
No.
What'd he do in that final still? Still showed up, gave you 40, even though they got their ass swept.
Yeah.
But he still got it. And it wasn't high flying and like LeBron usually looks.
Right.
It wasn't like that.
Well,
it was threes. It was a little from the free throw line. It was
still play hard.
Mid-range, yeah.
People forget that this playing hard is it covers up so many things. I'll give LeBron that. He plays hard. Just go do that. James, you can't. I've never heard someone say, "Man, that James Harden, he plays hard." That's never been.
No.
That's never been a sentence I've heard in the past 10 years. At least since he left Oklahoma City. He used to say it all the time when he came off the bench.
Right.
When he was fighting for minutes and trying to get that playing time.
I used to always say the best lineup was him at the point, Russ at the 2, KD at the 3, Nick Collison at the 4.
Okay.
And then whether you want to go Serge or whoever at that 5 spot, even if you want to go 4 or 5 with the switch Nick Collison and Serge. I always thought Nick Collison and James Harden ran a hell of a pick and roll. And that was like some of the only times Nick Collison could score.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I wish if there was. I know everyone says they can't wait till they get the 30 for 30 about that team. I still don't think we'll get the truth out of Russ on what he was thinking, or even KD or James. Who knows? But if I could just get them in a private moment where they had to tell me the truth. That, do you regret leaving and breaking up what y'all had? That's the only answer. If they say yes or no, if they say no, all right, cool.
So
But you got to tell me that y'all can't see what you could have been. When you every time you look over at Golden State, you go, man, yeah, well, that could have been us.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason they want to claim it is.
You know, one thing I'm not gonna say I'm not a Russell Westbrook fan, but I was just always one to not leave out the blemish in his game.
Mm-hmm.
But I will admit it does seem like this past year with the Clippers kind of reminded us, oh, okay, he's not totally washed.
No.
You know,
Right.
and maybe, you know, it was almost a can he play with stars type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just refuses to take a lesser role. But it looks like
Whatever you say.
this year with Clippers, you saw maybe a little bit of that.
Well, you can't.
Now all three of them on the court, we'll see what that looks
If
like.
that ever happens, yeah.
Right.
But you can't get traded or that many times or have people say, no, we don't want you in a trade and not realize
Figure
I'm
something
not,
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's wrong. I have to change something in what I'm doing. He'll never admit that he changed. He'll keep saying, well, this is where I've always played.
Right.
Which is, if you put the film up and show them, look, this is two totally different players. But you can't have that much happen to you and say, okay, I need to do better. I need, whether it's shoot less threes,
Yeah.
play better this and that. So, but once again, he always played
Hard.
Always
Always.
play hard. So if you do that, you can still account and be a viable service. We'll see if that carries over into this season.
Talking to Michael Kinney, Whatever You Say Sports Edition. We call it Whatever You Play. Speaking of playing and, you know, not good decisions, what would you write? Would you go all in about those submarine dudes who went down there and blew up? Like, would that be considered? Would that be considered foul to kind of write a story and be like, what the hell was going on?
If it was just the factual stories about what happened and then why they wanted to go down or this and that, no. But I wouldn't be out there pounding them. I mean, it's still yes. It's
What
like,
was your thought when you was like, the submarine? They going on a Titanic tour.
Well, first I thought it was cool. I
Right.
wouldn't have did it, but I thought it was
Right.
cool. But then the more you hear about the problems that the sub had been having,
Was that before or after the Xbox controller? When you
well,
said
that
it was
made
cool?
it even worse. That made it. Once I saw the Xbox controller, I go, I don't know if I can get on here. That would have been. I would have had to once again. I would have to do a whole bunch of research.
Yeah.
But once you do your research, and you hear that they fail to see the Titanic more times than they actually see it. It's like 1 out of 10 times that they'll actually see.
You mean anybody that goes and
goes down that it was actually
really?
yeah, that was.
So what happens the other 9 times?
Just floating around.
Really?
And missed it. So once I saw that, to me, it's not worth the money. But I understand if I have that type of money to where it's not a problem. But so that's the only problem is that they were clown because they were rich. And so that's because people do dumb stuff all the time that take their lives who are poor. And well, we start to clown, they start to get clowned a little bit more and more. But
$250,000.
yeah.
And they had to bolt you in.
Yeah.
There was no door. There was no
And there's no
open and closed door.
it was like I said, I would have saw the sub and go, if it doesn't look like the one that was in Red October, then I'm good.
Right.
I think we're all right.
What was it? No bathroom at a bucket or something?
That was just
Yikes.
for $250,000. They've been doing it for years. It wasn't like it was the first trip.
That's what I'm saying. Like, does somebody need to go to jail? I mean, because this was a company, right? This was like a
company.
this was a what do you call it? Water Nautica, whatever. This was a company that engaged in
Whatever you say.
water travel or whatever the hell.
It was, but they did what people do. They made them sign every contract,
Right.
every liability in the world to take it off them. And they'll guess what? As soon as this little investigation is over and they figure out all the stuff, they'll be back down there. And there's gonna be some rich. I don't want to say rich people. There's gonna be people who think, all right, y'all got the bugs cleared out now. well, let's go do this.
We got a real steering wheel this time.
Yeah, we figured out everything we did wrong last time, and we've made those changes, but we've upped it to 450,000 now. So,
Wow. That's Michael Kinney, y'all. We can do this all day. Michael, give me your social media handles.
I am MICHAEL.
You got your card right here on the desk still.
KINNEY media.com. I'm at M Kinney Media on Instagram, M Kinney Media on Twitter, and then Michael Kinney Media on YouTube. And so, please come check me out. I have also a photo site on SmugMug, Michael Kinney Media, that as well. So I'm trying to be all over the place. Once again, just staying busy and trying to not be the first person or the last person who's kicked out of the game.
So photos too. So graduation pictures.
I do most
baby pictures.
I let the professionals. I go to games and events and take individual. I do some portraits, a little bit here and there, but it's mostly events. And I go out and do street photography and just take pictures of people living the life. I like to see life being lived, and when I go on trips to wherever, I take those and put them up and let people enjoy and hopefully buy a few.
I've seen some of your pictures, man, and I specifically love the pictures of the cross country participators as they drag and cry and slobber across the finish line. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I like that.
I love seeing people in pain, and no one's in more pain.
That's human life, right there.
But it's human life. But the fact that they force themselves to finish, they don't. I couldn't be a runner just to run the run. So the fact that
long distance not the thing.
No, to do 3 miles in 100-degree heat.
It's rough, man.
Oh my God. So while yes, I'll laugh at people as they are crossing the finish line and they're dragging. To me, it's also a great thing because they did it.
A lot of respect.
Yeah, 100%. I can still laugh at you and respect you at the same time.
A lot of respect for you standing out there in that heat carrying that camera, man.
Hey, I don't like the. Yes, it is 100%.
You say a thankless job out there.
Yeah,
photojournalism.
I enjoy it. I love the gig, without a doubt.
Check out my man Michael Kinney, MichaelKinneyMedia.com for all of his writings, pictures, and opinions on whatever, man. Mark Dagnall signed a extension for the Thunder. How long you gonna last? Because this is a youth movement. This is a youth experiment they're trying right now.
Everyone that is on the team or has come up through him. I mean, except for Shea, right, who came from another one. Everyone else has been a rookie and either started out as a rookie under him with the Thunder or were with the G League team when he was the G League coach. So unless they're planning on bringing in some new cats, this is his crew.
Does Zion finish a year?
I hope so. I just feel if you talk about someone who the closest I might feel sorry for someone, it might be Zion because he trusted the wrong women. I give Zion credit because he's not going back and forth with her. He's not feeding into it. So I'm gonna have to take this L.
Yeah.
Y'all know that I like kinky stuff. It is okay. Guess what? It is what it is.
Oh man, that's wild. And then that's when we get with this generation. That's when we get into the mental stuff.
Right.
Because now you still got to go out here in front of 20,000 people
and hear it all.
and perform. Yeah.
And hear it all.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta be tough.
Yeah.
There's no easy ways to get through this life without having to go through something.
You want to make $100 million?
Whatever you say. Whatever you
Yeah.
Get
say.
some tough shit you got to
Exactly.
go through.
Exactly.
A legal 100 million or illegal 100 million?
There's nothing easy.
You gonna go through it, man.
If you ask Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, they're tough as day. I promise you, there's nothing easy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mike, I enjoyed it, man, and I certainly appreciate your time, man.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
It always goes a little longer than expected, but it might be a good thing.
That's all right. Hey, I'm sure some of these words will come back to haunt me, but that's all right.
That's all right. We go through it, edit it up. I'll clean it up for you.
That's all right.
All right. Michael Kinney, folks. This is Whatever You Say, sports edition, called Whatever You Play. I'm Ivory Towns. Thanks for your time. Y'all be safe.
I don't think it's white folks. I think it's Negroes. I do not think this is white folks. It could be. It could be white folks. But I think it's Negro. I think a Negro did this.
Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
Well, jewel, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, food, clothing, shelter, love, peace, and happiness. So a man must first get knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Once you got that, then you can go for your freedom. But freedom must operate under a law of justice. I'm free to smack you in the face, right? But now justice comes in. That's the reward or penalty for my acts or deeds. So that keeps everybody at equality. Because what? All men are created equal. Until you do something to break that equilibrium. And once you establish that, then what do a man need to strive for? His food. Of course, food for thought and physical food. His clothing. Of course, clothing, for clothing, but a cloak of righteousness as well. And his shelter. A shelter to live in and a shelter to protect itself from negative things in his atmosphere. And once you got that, what's left? Love. But what's love without peace? And what's love and peace without happiness? And happiness is total, complete satisfaction with yourself.